Are you tired of the hustle culture grind? The endless cycle of pushing harder, only to end up feeling completely burned out? We've all been sold this idea that success is a brutal, uphill battle. Wake up at 5 a.m., work 12-hour days, sacrifice everything. But what if I told you that the secret to being truly productive isn't about more effort, but less friction? What if the key to getting more done is actually to follow the path of least resistance? It sounds counterintuitive, I know, but today, we're going to dismantle the myth of hard work and build a system that works with your natural energy, not against it. This is the low-friction productivity system, and it's about to change the way you think about your workday. Let's get one thing straight. Hard work isn't the enemy, but mindless, inefficient effort is. We often confuse being busy with being productive. We wear our exhaustion like a badge of honor, thinking that if we're not drained by the end of the day, we haven't done enough. This is the biggest lie of modern productivity. Think about it like trying to push a giant boulder up a steep hill. You could spend all day straining, sweating, and making very little progress. Or, you could find a gentler slope, a path around the hill, and roll the boulder with a fraction of the effort. Efficiency isn't about being lazy, it's about being smart. It's about achieving the same, or even better, results by strategically applying your energy where it has the most impact. The goal isn't to work harder, it's to create more value with less struggle. This shift in mindset is the foundation of a sustainable, and honestly, a much happier way to work. So, how do we start being smarter with our energy? The first step is to map it. We're not robots. Our energy and focus fluctuate throughout the day. You need to become a detective of your own biological rhythms. For a week, just observe. When do you feel most alert, creative, and ready to tackle complex problems? This is your peak presence window. For many people, it's a 2 to 4 o'clock in the morning, but yours might be in the afternoon, or even late at night. There are no right or wrong answers, only your personal data. Grab a notebook or a simple doc and jot down how you feel on a scale of 1 to 10 every hour. You'll start to see a clear pattern emerge, your personal energy curve. Once you have this map, you can start scheduling your most important work during your peak and your less demanding tasks during your troughs. This single change is like switching from swimming against the current to effortlessly floating downstream. You're aligning your tasks with your natural energy flow, not forcing your energy to comply with a rigid, arbitrary schedule. Now let's talk about something we all experience but rarely use to our advantage: laziness. What happens when you have an important task on your list, but you just can't bring yourself to do it? The typical response is to feel guilty, to call yourself lazy, and try to force yourself to work. But what if that feeling of resistance, that laziness, isn't a character flaw? What if it's a data point? It's your brain's way of telling you that there's too much friction. The task might be too big, too vague, or you might not have the right tools or information. Instead of fighting that feeling, get curious. Ask yourself, what's the one thing making this feel so hard right now? Is the first step unclear? Are you intimidated by the scope of the project? Maybe the environment is distracting. That feeling of resistance is a signal. It's an invitation to break the pattern and diagnose the friction point. I want you to think about a task you've been putting off right now. What's the real reason you're avoiding it? Answering that question honestly is the first step to making it easy. Once you've identified your most important work to do during your peak energy times, how do you decide what actually matters? Welcome to the rule of 3. Our to-do lists are often graveyards of good intentions, cluttered with dozens of tasks that make us feel busy but not productive. The rule of 3 cuts through the noise. At the start of your day, or the night before, ask yourself this powerful question: if I could only accomplish 3 things today to move my goals forward, what would they be? That's it. Just 3. These aren't just any 3 tasks. They are your needle movers. These are the actions that will create the most significant impact. The 20% of efforts that yield 80% of the results. By limiting yourself to 3, you're forced to prioritize ruthlessly. You're making a conscious decision about what truly matters. Everything else is secondary. If you finish your 3 needle movers, you've won the day. Anything else you get done is a bonus. This simple rule prevents overwhelm and ensures that your most precious peak energy is spent on what will actually make a difference. So you have your 3 needle-moving tasks. Now we need to design an environment that makes doing them almost automatic. This is about designing for flow and ruthlessly eliminating friction. The biggest enemy of focus is choice fatigue. Every small decision you make throughout the day drains your mental battery. What should I work on first? Where is that file? Should I check my email now? Each question is a tiny crack in your dam of focus. To design for flow, you need to make the right choices, the easiest choices. Prepare everything the night before. Open the exact tabs you'll need. Pull up the specific document you'll be working on. Put your phone in another room or turn on an aggressive focus app. Create a specific playlist that signals to your brain it's time for deep work. The goal is to create a frictionless runway to your most important task. When you sit down to work during your peak hours, you shouldn't have to think. You should just be able to start. By removing the small hurdles, you make it easier to enter a state of deep focus and get into the zone where real, meaningful work happens. Now, what happens after your peak energy window closes? This is where most productivity systems fall apart and guilt creeps in. You feel that afternoon slump, your brain turns to mush, and you try to power through, producing low-quality work and feeling miserable. The low-friction system embraces this trough with the afternoon pivot. This is your permission slip to rest and recharge, guilt-free. Your energy map showed you this dip was coming, so you planned for it. The afternoon pivot isn't about being lazy. It's a strategic part of the system. This is the time for low-energy tasks, answering non-urgent emails, organizing files, tidying your workspace, or doing some light reading. Even better, it's the perfect time for a real break. Go for a walk, stretch, meditate, or even take a 20-minute power nap. By honoring your body's need for rest, you're not wasting time. You're refueling for a potential smaller energy peak later in the day. You'll come back to your work feeling refreshed and capable, instead of drained and defeated. Stop punishing yourself for being human. A guilt-free pivot is one of the kindest and most productive things you can do for yourself. Let's bring it all together. The path of least resistance isn't a magic trick. It's a strategic system built on self-awareness and intelligent design. It's about working in sprints, not marathons. It respects your natural rhythms instead of fighting them. So let's recap your new low-friction workflow. First, you map your energy to find your peak presence window. Second, you use the rule of 3 to define your needle-moving tasks for the day. Third, you schedule those 3 high-impact tasks during your peak window. Fourth, you design for flow by preparing your environment and removing all friction before you start. Fifth, when your energy naturally dips, you execute a guilt-free afternoon pivot, shifting to low-energy tasks or strategic rest. Finally, you use any feelings of laziness or resistance as valuable data to diagnose and remove friction points in your system. This isn't about doing less. It's about achieving more with less stress, less burnout, and more flow. It's about creating a sustainable way to be productive that actually feels good. I've created a simple low-friction workflow template to help you get started. It's a one-page guide that walks you through energy mapping, applying the rule of 3, and structuring your day. You can download it for free using the link in the description below. Give this system a try for just 1 week. Don't try to be perfect, just be curious. Observe your energy, pick your 3 priorities, and give yourself permission to rest. You might be shocked at how much more you can accomplish when you stop fighting yourself and start following the path of least resistance. Thank you so much for watching. If this video helped you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content on working smarter, not harder. I'll see you in the next one.